ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
Elmore deep, left side three, it's good! From 30 feet, Jon Elmore!
The Drive with Paul Swann.
Welcome in. It's the Wednesday, July 24th edition. The Drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. And as always, you can always be a part of the Miller Lite phone lines. 877-420-TALK, 877-420-8255. Miller Lite, hold true, great taste, only 96 calories it is. The original light beer. We've got a jam-packed show for you this afternoon. Coming up at 5:15, David Kahn from the West Virginia Power. And at 5:30, we're going to hear from Jon Elmore. Now, we last saw Jon playing with the West Virginia Wildcats during the basketball tournament. Now, his team did not win in advance, so he's got some free time on his hands. Well, not anymore. He signs today, and I am not Italian. I'm not going to hit this directly perfectly. That's why I have Jansen Williams. He knows how to pronounce this. I'm putting you on the spot, Jansen. How do you pronounce this? Jon Elmore playing with, I'm saying Pallacanestro.
Pallacanestro.
Pallacanestro. And you're looking at your note, too.
Nope.
What do you got? How do you say the last part?
Triste.
Pallacanestro, Triste. Okay. That's why we should have department head meetings before we do this show. No, John's coming on the show here in a little bit. So Pallacanestro, Trieste of the Series A League in Italy. That's going to be a big deal for him. The LBA is the highest level of basketball in Italy, so he's going to have an opportunity to showcase his talents, play professional basketball, and with many who maybe don't make it to the NBA, basketball is not over, and this is also a great place to maybe get yourself better, hone your skills, get some more tape, as they used to say, as Woody Woodrum would say, get some tape, be seen, maybe get back into the States, depending on what your ambitions are, where your career takes you. So here's an opportunity, but he has made himself a dream come true today. He signed a pro contract. So that's what's coming up. We're going to talk to him. And, of course, David Kahn is going to join us from the West Virginia Power. We'll talk to him here in a few minutes about the Power. They are still in the hunt for a second-half division title, but they're running out of time. So we'll talk to David about that. And as we said, your phone calls are coming up as well. So basketball, baseball, that's going to be the major focus of the show today. Some things are happening, though. You can tell we're getting closer and closer to the start of fall season because things are happening with Marshall. And a couple things we're just going to touch on real quick before we hit the break. First of all, Tyler Jones, who is an incoming freshman for the Marshall men's golf team, he has qualified for the 119th U.S. Amateur Championship. He took the top spot at the Ohio State Scarlet Qualifier, which is hosted by the OSU Golf Club. The amateur is going to be played August 12th to 18th. It's going to be played at Pinehurst in North Carolina on course number 2 and 4. So that's pretty impressive for him. Matt Grobe's pretty excited about that. A lot of competition these days for young athletes when it comes to golf, and you got one of the best in the country, or at least you got one of the best in Ohio. He's making the 119th U.S. Amateur. That says something about the caliber athlete that you're able to bring in. So I'm sure we'll follow up and get Coach Grobe on here a little bit later on in the week or next week. Also, got to pay attention to this as well because it involves golf, and it also involves, I think, Matt Grove's dedication to really making this program probably one of the more successful programs of recent history. Thomas Frazier, Cole Moore, both on the golf team, named All-American Scholar athletes by Golf Coaches Association of America. The golf team is also honored as All-Academic Team with a GPA of 3.0 or better. So this is really Matt Grobe Day. Even though Jon Elmore signs a pro contract, we're going to have David Kahn on. This is Matt Grobe Day, and he's not even on the program. So, again, I mean, that just says something about the caliber and the quality of the program, the fact that you've got two players who are All-American Scholar athletes. You've got an incoming freshman qualifying for the 119th U.S. Amateur. I mean, that's impressive as well. And, of course, as we mentioned, we're getting closer to the start of the new season because wrapping it up on the old season, Tyree Brady named a Student Athlete of the Year. That's right. So he gets named Student Athlete of the Year at Marshall. And track and field's also represented. Renice Baston was named a Student Athlete of the Year as well. Baston won the gold medal in the hammer throw at the 2019 Conference USA Outdoor Track and Field Championships with a distance of 57.18 meters. And more comprehensible terms for those of us who have rejected the metric system, 187 feet and 7 inches. She also placed 7th in the meet and the discus. The team, as a program, amassed 58 team points. That is the most since 2013. So she gets named. Also, you get Tyree Brady. He is named Student Athlete of the Year. First team All-Conference USA selection. Earned the team's Offensive Player of the Year honors at season end. Led the herd in receptions and receiving yards in each of the last 2 seasons. 17 touchdowns in his 2 seasons with the program. Everybody remembers, of course, 2017 down at North Carolina State. 11-catch, 248-yard performance. The receiving yards were the most by a player, home or visitor, in the history of Carter Finley Stadium, and the yardage was the 4th most in Marshall history. The most by a herd player on the road and the most by a Marshall player against an FBS program. Brady finished with 7 career 100-yard games, and the last 5 times he hit the 100-yard mark. And, of course, those were Marshall wins. When he hit the 100-yard mark the last 5 times, Marshall won the game. So, Student Athlete of the Year. These honors will be more highlighted coming up football season here in the next few weeks. During a football game, they will be recognized on the field. So that's what's happening at Marshall today. We turn our attention to David Kahn in a few minutes from the West Virginia Power. Going to catch up with him about what's happening with the Power. Then Jon Elmore is going to join us a little bit later on. So I'm looking forward to that as well. We've got an all-star cast on the show today, and we've got an all-star producers booth today with Gabriel Sellers and Jansen Williams keeping this thing afloat. You're listening to The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann, the 2019 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Best Talk Show on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Now joining us on the program, the voice of the West Virginia Power, David Kahn. Power taking on the Hickory Crawdads tonight. Road game, 7 o'clock first pitch. You can, of course, listen to the game on WVPower.com. Power are losers of their last 2 and 5-5 in their last 10 games. That's going to turn around tonight, David. I've got hope. I've got a belief that's going to turn around tonight.
I agree with you as well. You know, we've got new right-hander Evan Johnson on the mound making his second start at the low A level, and he looked really, really good last time out. I think he got a little fatigue at the end of his outing against Delmarva, so I'm pretty confident that Evan's going to come out, have a great outing, and the Power are going to have a good shot to win again.
Not all is dire for the Power right now. They're only 15-17, 6.5 games back. Delmarva still leads the division at 21-10, and even though they're already locked up for a first half win, they're going to the postseason. They know that you're shooting to keep pace with them, because if you finish second and you've got an overall record for tiebreaker consideration, you might as well say you're going to the postseason. But winning division, definitely the goal here. But 6.5, that's doable. I mean, right? What's the team feeling right now that the 6.5 games back?
It's certainly doable. This team still is budding with confidence. And the thing about it is this is actually a very important series right now for West Virginia, because Hickory is the team that everyone is chasing now that Delmarva's, made it to the postseason. So West Virginia really wants to take this series, take 2 of 3 from Hickory, because this is the last time we play them this year. This is the last chance we have game-to-game games against Hickory where we can gain ground on them in the standings.
The Power also on the road. It feels like you're going to be on the road for a while with this series. You started yesterday, and you won't get back to Appalachian Power Park until the 31st against Greensboro. But a long trip. You got Hickory, you got Rome. I guess the good news is at the end of this all, August is going to be pretty friendly as far as the home schedule.
Yeah, August is a bit interesting. It's basically, we have this long road trip, then a long homestand, then another long road trip, and then it's back and forth, little series after little series. So it's an interesting dynamic the way the schedule works out, but I think it'll be better for these guys just to, be able to play in front of their home crowd as much as possible. We've got 15 home games. We play well at home. We got a winning record at home. So I think that'll really benefit these guys down the stretch.
Yeah, that's the important thing. You're better on the road some weeks, it feels like, but right now it almost feels like it's been 50-50. I'm sure the numbers will tell a different story to why the record is that way, but it just feels like it's a win or lose, no matter when you play, where you play.
No, and I think you're right. I mean, this team has been very, we'll say, inconsistent at this rate. And that's kind of been the issue. They've played so many close games, and I talked to Devin Sweet about that today in our Night Horse Riding pregame show interview. And we've got 40. We've played 35 one-run games this year, and we've won 22 of them. That's a great mark. That's the highest mark in the league in terms of wins in one-run games. But you've also lost 12. So at the end of the day, those 12 one-run games can make or break your season, and the Power of late have been losing a lot of close ball games, and they've been also blowing a lot of late leads. We've had 5 blown saves in our last 7 games, and we blew 7 over our first 95. So that can't happen. And in a stretch run, you got to be able to trust your bullpen after your starters go out and give you some good innings that your bullpen's going to be able to lock it down. And the bullpen hasn't been that rough, but it's been 1 run, 2 runs that have marked the difference because these teams keep hanging around. And the Power offense, while potent, sometimes it gets a little static where it'll score big in 1 inning, like last night where we score all 4 of our runs in the 4th, and then we can't score again after that. So it's a little bit tough at this point to kind of project where we're going to be and what's going to happen, but consistency is the name of the game for this team right now.
How frustrating is that for this team? You think you can score enough, but you just can't hold on. And you also maybe have a pitching staff that's thinking, hey, guys, maybe can you get me a run? Can you get me a run? I can do this, but I need a little support. You can't just point the finger at offense. You can't just point the finger at pitching and say that's the reason, and I'm sure that's got to be frustrating.
It's certainly frustrating, and the thing about it is, Paul, is that these guys want to back these guys up. This team is a very close-knit group, and they feel for their pitchers when they can't back them up, or the pitchers feel for the starter when they can't pull down the save, and that's really it's tough to see. Because you can see it on these guys' faces and in their body language when a blown save does happen or when a team can't score again and you end up losing the ball game late. They want to win these games. They want to go to the postseason. So it's certainly a tough thing to swallow for these guys, but they're still playing hard. They're still giving 100% effort day in and day out, and hopefully we can turn it around.
Who stood out the most to you since the second half has started?
I mean, you can't say anybody more than Bobby Honeyman right now. He's got an 18-game hitting streak going, and he's just been so unbelievably consistent at the plate. He hit a 2-run homer last night, 7th home run of the season, and it was one of the weirdest home runs I've ever seen because in Hickory, they have the right field wall, but then they have a 3-level sign wall above it. Usually to hit a homer, you have to hit it over the sign wall because if you hit it off the sign wall and it comes back into the field of play, it's in play. But Bobby hit it off of the lowest level of sign, and then it snuck under the wall, so it was a home run. Really weird. Never seen that before. Not sure I'll ever see it again. But he's just finding ways to get the job done, and that's what you need to do at this stage of the game.
David Kahn's our guest from the West Virginia Power. Now, the good news is these guys do have an opportunity to gain some ground, then come back home and try to stay strong at Appalachian Power Park. Is the sense of urgency sunk in yet? I know we still have a full month to go, and then we still have to play out what's left of July, but is that sense of urgency there, or has it been there these last few weeks?
I don't think the urgency is there quite yet. I mean, these guys understand where they are and they understand what they need to do, but I don't think they're pressing. I think they're just going in and day out and doing their work and trying to get better and trying to win, each game one at a time. And I think if I ask anybody on this team, they're going to say exactly that. These guys are very focused on the task at hand. They're very focused on, being, doing the best they can to help this team win. And that's really all they're worried about. Where the standings are, they can't really control that because they only play one team on one night. So until it really gets down to the nitty-gritty those last 2 weeks, I think they're just focused on, all right, let's beat this team, whoever we're playing.
David Kahn joining us from the West Virginia Power, of course, on the road, and you can go to the website, wvpower.com, if you want to tune in for tonight's action. And I know you're excited just to get back home. You have been on the road, 2-3 days, and you're probably already ready to come back.
The road is certainly nice, but I always love being at home. There's a comfort level there, and the players feel the same way. You've got your home crowd in front of you, and Appalachian Power Park is a special ballpark and has a special atmosphere, and we're certainly very excited to whenever we get the chance to play at home. But being on the road it has its own merits, but certainly we were excited to be back home next week.
When you come back home next week, this will be the final month for the most part that fans get a chance to come out and see the Power unless you extend the season. So what's planned for August that's going to make everything special?
Yeah, we've got a lot of really cool promotions coming up for August. Actually, on Friday, August 2nd, we're going to be wearing some special Hot Shot jerseys that are presented by the Charleston Area Medical Center. And they're actually these really cool light blue jerseys that we have, and they have a stethoscope wrapped around them. And the player's going to be wearing them, and then we're going to auction them off, and all the proceeds are going to go to the CAMC Foundation. So we're very excited to have that. On Saturday, we got a back-to-school giveaway on August 3rd with a backpack giveaway. So we did that last year, and that went over really well. We've got a prospect T-shirt giveaway coming up. We've got Deaf Night coming up on August 30th, where we're also going to be wearing Power jerseys that are ASL. So they're going to have American Sign Language. The Power is going to be spelled out in ASL on the jerseys. They're really, really cool. Those are also going to be auctioned off on our Live Source app after the game is over. So, and we're going to have interpreters at the game. We're going to have sensory-friendly fireworks that night. It's going to be a really cool night. Towards the end of the season on August 31st, we've got Luke Pell from the Bachelorette is actually coming to the ballpark, and we're going to do a little meet and greet with him. We got a special ticket package out there as well for Luke Pell's appearance on the 31st. And really, we've just got, a whole slew of different weekly promotions where we got another Pets in the Park coming up this week. We've got tons of Thirsty Thursdays. We have International Heritage Week we've got coming up in conjunction with Multi-Fest that's going on in West Virginia. And we're doing our very first African American Heritage Night on Monday, August 5th, where we're honoring our African American culture in West Virginia and our community there. So that'll be a really, really fun night. And we're trying to add as many things as we can to this final month and really just continue to beef up the promotions and make sure all these fans have something to come out and enjoy.
David Kahn's our guest, West Virginia Power. I think one thing we really didn't talk about is how's the Toast Man's arm, because Devin Sweet became the fourth Power pitcher to reach 100 Ks in a single season last night. So how's the Toast Man's arm holding up? That's a lot of Ks over the course of a season.
Yeah, the Power have 954 Ks overall this year. So the Toast Man's arm is fine. He actually flung one into the booth on our last home game of the first half. First time I've seen him do that. Kyle caught it. I didn't, because he threw it into Kyle's window. But Toast Man's arm is doing just fine. He's warmed up and ready to go, and I guarantee you, if we were back at home, he'd be ready to sling some more toast.
Still, it's a lot of Ks. That's a lot of Ks, especially in minor league baseball, where these guys move up and down at a moment's notice. That's a lot of opportunity to throw some guys out.
Well, I mean, it's a Power record. We've never had four pitchers with more than 100 Ks in a single season. So there's a reason it's a Power record, because it doesn't happen all that often, like you said, because of the promotions. So, hats off to those guys. Obviously, Moyers and Chandler are both no longer with the Power. They're up in high A Modesto, well-deserved promotions, and Devin Sweet is just dominating again here in the second half. I talked to him today in our pregame show. You'll hear that in a little bit. And Ryan Inman has started to find his groove as well. So really all of those guys are just settling into a second-half groove, and I'm excited to see what the totals can be because, the Power strikeout record is certainly within reach for both of those guys.
David Kahn's our guest from the West Virginia Power. He is easily found on Twitter, SportsCon4. If you are in doubt when you look him up, he's the guy with the big two-lane, whatever the heck that is, image.
It's the field.
It looks like a squiggly blob.
Well, you're I think I changed it. Yeah, it used to be two in at the Superdome.
No, it's a squiggly blob. Yeah, come on now.
No, that's called the Angry Wave.
The Angry Wave. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking at the Angry Wave on your Twitter account. Of course, Twitter just switched me over to the new Twitter. I'm on the website. And it's
me too. I hate it.
It's terrible.
I hate it.
It's horrible.
So there's a way to get it back, but it wouldn't work on my computer for some reason.
So that means there's not a way to get it back.
Well, no, there is, but so apparently Twitter installed this cookie. It's like a web opt-in cookie, and if you download it use Google Chrome, Paul.
I use
Chrome. Is that your preferred browser?
I use Safari, but I do have Chrome.
Okay, if you go on Chrome, I don't know about Safari, but if you go on Chrome, you can download this extension called Edit This Cookie, and then basically what you do is you download this extension, you go to Twitter, and then you open the extension, find the web opt-in cookie for Twitter, delete it, save your cookies, and then close out your browser and reopen it. It should fix it. However, for some reason, when I do that, the cookie doesn't get deleted. It won't let me save it. So I'm not sure what's up with me, but that is a way to fix it. That's what I've learned from my internet searching because they just switched me today, and I absolutely hate it.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah, I mean, now usually it's I can't describe it. It's like it's in dark mode, which is fine. I'm okay with that, but
no, I turned it off in dark mode.
You don't like dark mode?
No dark mode. I'm not a fan of dark mode.
Okay.
But here's the thing. So there is one thing I like about it. They moved the emojis to right below the Twitter, right below your tweet.
Yeah.
That I appreciate. That was helpful. But everything else, terrible.
Okay. So no, I had it on dim. Okay. There's default, which is bright white, dim, and lights out.
Yeah, I use default.
Okay. And you can change your color. So let's see. Since I rep the herd, I got to go with the avocado green.
I was gonna say mine. Yeah, you got to go green.
Yeah, I got to go green. I just have to. I mean,
yeah.
I would go orange, but nobody would understand why I would go orange.
No.
So I mean,
no, they would not.
No, they wouldn't know
go
that would be a personal choice. But I'm gonna go green because, I got to rep the herd fans out there.
And I got to rep the wave.
Right. Exactly. So there we are. There's everything you need to know about the West Virginia Power and our disdain for the new Twitter. All in one neat package. And we're saving all our best material for our yet first recorded Kahn and Swann podcast, or Swann and Kahn, whatever we're going to call that.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, you've got future Marshall Hall of Famer Jansen Williams even brainstorming right now what that podcast should be.
Yeah, I was just saying. I thought Jansen was storyboarding for us.
He is. He's working on it. He's
okay.
He's working on. He's going to line guest up for us. But we have to. We have to go
need
get
someone to design a logo.
Okay. We'll work on that. But he's got to go line up our next guest because we got Jon Elmore on. You've heard of him, right? He's like your...
Yeah, I have heard of Jon Elmore, and I think everyone probably wants me to get off so that they can listen to Jon Elmore, so I understand that.
Yeah, okay. So you off the phone, we'll have Jon Elmore on, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, sounds good.
David Kahn, my friend and the voice of the West Virginia Power, joining us on the program. After this break, Jon Elmore, he will tell us about his... continued career in basketball. He's got a pro contract. We'll talk about it when we continue with today's edition of The Drive.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Over the last few weeks, we have been following the journey of Jon Elmore. I kept my ESPN Plus subscription so I can watch him play with the Celtics in the Summer League. And, of course, last week I was hoping for several wins in the basketball tournament. Wasn't the case, but I got to see more of Jon play and with a few Marshall guys as well, and that was fun. And now I'm going to have to figure out how I can subscribe to basketball in Italy. The LBA has a new member today. The team that Jon has signed with is Pallacanestro Trieste. And if I've not pronounced that right, Jon is with us on the phone now to correct my pronunciation of that and talk about that. Hey, man, congratulations. That is great news to hear today.
Thank you, man. Now I'm fired up. Like you said, great news, and I'm excited for the next chapter.
If you could, you just talk about the last few weeks. We all watched the Summer League games, and just every moment we could get with you on the court, hoping that we would see more of you, and then it was just extra fun to watch in the basketball tournament, and now you've got a pro contract. A lot of guys don't make it past college. It doesn't matter what level of professional basketball they play. If you make it as a pro basketball player, you're in an elite company.
Yeah, Boston experience was fun. Went up there for a week, did mini camp with them, then played Summer League with them. It was kind of tough because they drafted 2 guards. So those were their main guys, and I really didn't get in the game a lot, which was frustrating at the same time. But it was a good experience. I got to go to Vegas, play at a high level, practice, play against those guys on a daily basis. So that was fun. But then some stuff overseas started popping up. The offer in Italy came, and just talking with my agent and family, we thought that was the best route to go, and I'm really excited about it.
So what do you know about your upcoming team and your new home?
I know it's on the beach, and it's supposed to be beautiful there, so I'm going to have a nice tan when I get back. It's good basketball. 100,000 people right on the beach. From what I've seen, they're kind of diehard basketball. I've got a lot of feedback from people wishing me the best, and they're glad I'm going. And so I talked with the GM this morning, had a good conversation with him. So looking to get over there. I think I leave August 6th, and it's an exciting time for my family, fiance, and friends.
Yeah, you had mentioned in previous interviews that if the NBA wasn't an option right away, this would be an option for you, and then eventually try to get into coaching. What's the journey going to look like in your mind? Because this is really twofold for you. One, you get to go out, play professional basketball, play in a really good league in Italy. Second of all, an opportunity maybe to showcase yourself. There's always a path to the NBA. It doesn't necessarily go through draft night, and it doesn't necessarily go through summer league as well.
No, you're right 100%. Hopefully this isn't the last stop for me. This might be the first of many. It might be the last stop. You never know. But like you said, the end goal is the NBA. But some people's books are different. So this is a chapter in my book. I'm going in, and my goal is to win the Italian First Division League first year as a rookie and start off with a bang. So I'm not satisfied by any means. I think it's going to be a good team. It's a great league, one of the best leagues in the world. The competition's going to be good, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm going in. I'm going to set the place on fire, to be honest. I'm going to break records and win games and have fun doing it. And then when that comes at the end of the year to make a decision whether to go back, whether to move on, what the next step is, I'll sit down with my agent and family, and we'll evaluate it and go from there. But at this time, I'm just going to take it one day at a time and enjoy every step of the process. Yeah,
not a bad place to try to figure out your next step in life. As far as the league itself, this is the highest level of basketball in Italy, and you get to go play at a beautiful location. You get to go enjoy a fantastic country, basketball fans. But this isn't the only thing you get to go up against. You also have some pretty tough competition. Who are some of the names, some of the guys maybe that we would be a little bit more familiar with that you might face off against in this league?
There's a lot of guys, a lot of former NBA guys that have kind of had stints in the league that have ended up in Italy. The Italy First Division's got a bunch of teams in it. Mike D'Antoni played in Italy First Division for many years. So there's been a lot of legends come out of the league. There's a lot of Italian or a lot of foreign players that are kind of legends over there in the league as well. So it's a very high level. There's bunch of former college guys you would know, like Darius Thompson and Justin Johnson from Western Kentucky. Those are two of the guys that, I know a little bit pretty well that are playing in the league and I'll play against. So it's exciting. A lot of guys that I know and have grown up playing against or have heard of are in the league. So it'll definitely be tough competition, but I think I'm ready to go and see what happens.
Did that help, knowing that you had a support system like the D'Antoni family? They know about this league. Mike has got great experience with that league. So have you had a chance maybe to lean on him a little bit or talk to him about some of the things that you're going to encounter, or are we too soon in that process?
I didn't really talk to them much. I talked to Coach D'Antoni a little bit throughout the process. He watched some of the games in Summer League. He watched the TBT game. He's just been real supportive, and he's backed me with everything I've decided. He's supported everything so far, and he's been there if I needed him to. But my family and agent have been really big in this, so most of the credit goes to them for keeping me sane and playing devil's advocate to a lot of the situations and weighing the pros and the cons throughout the process.
Now, was this already in the works when you were playing in the basketball tournament? Because I was kind of hoping you'd be busy for a few more weeks in that tournament. Didn't go that way, but with that opportunity now passed and this one happening, was this just happened in the last few days, or was this something that you just had to sign the paperwork once that basketball tournament opportunity was over?
It had been playing out the past couple weeks. Just negotiations, stuff like that. When I would leave, their expectations for me, all kinds of stuff. My agent had done a really good job of handling all that. But no, we were fully locked into the TBT. That was a great experience. Like you said, our goal was to win $2 million and keep playing games. But I got to reunite with Ott, Stevie, Ryan Taylor. A lot of those guys I grew up playing with. Stevie and I were roommates at Marshall. We all played together. Played AAU, travel ball together growing up. So getting to play on ESPN, not many people get to play on ESPN, but then you're playing with your boys that you grew up with, and my dad was coaching, Tommy Orchid, good family friend. That was awesome. That's definitely one of my favorite basketball experiences up to this point.
How'd you like playing with? You've done this now. You're familiar with it, the ELAM system, where after 4 minutes or less, they tack on 8 points to the margin of victory. And you got to go score that certain point total before the other team does. How do you like that?
I thought it was really interesting. Like you said, it's a different style of play for sure. But it eliminates the fouling and kind of the grind it out, dragging on at the end of the game. So you got to try to concentrate on not fouling down the stretch. I think the Elam inning really helped us because we were down decent amount of points, and we kept getting stops, kept getting fouled, getting to the line, chipping away. So I think it's definitely an interesting style of basketball, and I think it's cool because every game ends on a game winner. You don't have any just blowouts or any lame endings to the game. Every game ends on a game-winning shot.
Jon Elmore is our guest, signing today with Pallacanestro Triste of the LBA, highest level of basketball in Italy. So I guess the more important question now here is everybody wants to know where can they get a Jon Elmore jersey to add to their collection?
So I'm supposed to talk with the GM in the next couple of days. We're getting a feel for what number I'll be. I think it's going to be 33. I don't know why I would choose that one or why they would want me to wear that one, but I think it'll be number 33, and I think I'll find the details out in the next few days on gear and stuff like that. So as soon as I know, I'll make it available to people on social media and stuff like that, and try to get people hooked up as fast as possible.
I've kind of felt like that was a question a lot of people were wondering. It's like, okay, hey, congratulations, great. Where can I get a jersey? That's got to feel pretty good that people want to wear your number no matter where you're at.
No, it's definitely a cool feeling. And I think just growing up in Charleston, growing up in Huntington, playing in the in-state school, I think just over these past weeks it's meant more and more to me because as I'm getting farther away from Marshall, all these people are still reaching out on a daily basis. All these people still want to stay posted and kept informed on what's going on. So I think I'm really lucky to have grown up here and ended up at Marshall and for things to have gone the way they have because, the support system and the fan base and just the ability to stay connected with everyone's been really sweet the farther I've got away from Marshall.
Well, congratulations. This is really a big deal. Not too many people can play professional sports, play professional ball. A dream come true for you, and I'm excited. I can't wait to see you out there and just blowing up the basketball in Italy, and maybe that's going to be your pathway back to the NBA and back to the States. But no matter where you end up, good luck, congratulations, and I hope everything works out for you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
It's Jon Elmore signing a pro contract today. Pallacanestro Trieste. Of the LBA, highest level of basketball in Italy. He's going to be he's not going to be hurting. He's going to be looking at beautiful country, playing basketball, getting paid for it. We're going to take our next break. We'll come back. We'll get the phone lines for you at 877-420-TALK, 877-420-8255. You can join us on the Miller Lite phone lines. Miller Lite, hold true, great taste, only 96 calories. It is the original light beer. We've got more on the way. It's The Drive, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Come alive.
Buckle up. Paul Swann has the wheel on The Drive, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to the Wednesday, July 24th edition, The Drive on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. So we've been talking basketball, and Jon Elmore getting an opportunity to play in Italy, extend his basketball career, play professional basketball, and any opportunity for a guy who loves the game of basketball to play, you take it, right? Well, not so fast, because Kevin Love, he is going to withdraw from playing for the United States at this summer's World Cup in China. So he's not playing. You've got Anthony Davis not playing, James Harden now not playing, Damian Lillard not playing, DeMar DeRozan not playing, Bradley Beal not playing, Eric Gordon not playing, Tobias Harris not playing, CJ McCollum not playing. We're going to keep this up. I know a guy, Jansen Williams, he'll play. Put him in the World Cup. You want to play in the World Cup, Jansen? We're running out of players. You want to play?
Yeah, I'll play.
You play? You rep the USA?
USA, baby.
Okay.
All the way.
All right, you're in. I'll play. I mean, I don't think we'd be a good team if it was me and you.
I think it'd be a great team. What are you talking about?
Well, if I pass the ball to you, yeah.
What? Maybe.
Yeah, that's my job. Pass the ball to Jansen, get out of the way. What's up with this? Not playing for the USA. I think it's a big mistake for a lot of these players. I mean, I can't tell them what their business is and how to run it, but I would think any opportunity you get it to represent your country, play in a situation where you're going to expand the brand, because let's be honest, this is an opportunity for Kevin Love, Anthony Davis, a lot of these guys to expand the brand. It's not necessarily about, hey, is this a minor inconvenience for you that you're going to spend a week in Australia and you're going to play in China? Man, I got to give up my summer for this. Hey, you know what? They like basketball overseas. China's a huge market. I mean, that's one of the things that the NBA has got to be loving about life right now, is that their game is truly, in a lot of ways, very international. And so, even though you don't have NBA teams in other countries, it's not necessarily about that. It's the NBA brand. And you don't want to go and play in front of a international audience that would just love to buy your gear. I mean, come on. You're blowing it here. These guys are blowing it as far as that opportunity, because you got to market the brand. You got to go out there and give people a reason to like you even more if you're a basketball player. You go out there, you greet the fans, you're going to make a fan. And think about it. Why did guys stop and give kids autographs and spend a crazy amount of time after a game hanging out with these kids? Because probably somebody did that when they were a kid. And now it's their turn, and they're giving it back because they've just made a fan. I mean, there's been so many times where, and Jansen, you can attest to this, because you've done it as well. you meet a kid, you've never met this kid before in your life. And this is a little kid probably at the game, wants a Jansen Williams autograph, like a poster or something, some bent poster he got at the game. And that kid's eyes brighten up when you stop and you talk to him for a couple of minutes, sign his shirt or sign his posters. You've already made a Jansen Williams fan. And yeah, I don't think guys get that to this day, that you invest a few minutes of their time, it's going to pay big dividends, even if it's going overseas and playing, especially at the NBA level. I mean,
I'll tell you what, for the feeling that I kind of see is that, when I was a kid, I can remember this since I was little. Chipper Jones stayed after a game, and we just sat there and waited and waited and waited for him to come and, sign my baseball. And that was probably the most joyful moment of my life, was getting to see my idol, the guy that I loved growing up as a kid, coming and taking the time out of his day after the game's over and everybody's leaving, come over here and just do a little thing and sign something. So it's really amazing.
Yeah, and I know this is a different level altogether. You're going to China. You're going to Australia. You're going to be playing the summer, playing for Team USA. Sure, maybe that's not the way you want to spend your summer playing in the World Cup, but maybe it should be. Because
there's people, especially overseas, their basketball to them is nothing compared to what basketball is over here. Like, they take it to a whole different level. They bring huge flags, air horns, fireworks sometimes. It's insane over there.
Soccer rowdy is just about.
Just about.
Yeah, so there's an opportunity there. I'm kind of disappointed. I mean, these guys have got their own reasons, but I think if you're a superstar like Kevin Love, you're a superstar like Anthony Davis, James Harden, you got to realize your fan base doesn't necessarily exist solely in the lower 48 of the United States of America or Alaska, Hawaii. It's an international game, so you got an opportunity. Hey, okay, so you got to give up a few weeks of the summer. You're going to get a chance to go play, represent Team USA. Coach Greg Popovich is going to be your coach. And I don't know what your feelings are about that guy, but I like him. I like it especially when he takes the media to task. I mean, when he just gets up in our grill in the media, it's hilarious. Because he's put us on our toes. We got to come with good stuff now. Can't ask stupid questions. See, that's the thing, though. I love it when coaches make sure that we know, okay, we shouldn't have asked that. Sorry, coach. Not tough questions, just dumb questions. I mean, Greg Popovich is the best at that. You're going to hang out with that guy. I'm disappointed, though. I would have liked to see because I like seeing our very best go over and just devastate the other teams. Maybe I shouldn't be thinking that way. Maybe I should be thinking, hey, this should be more competitive. We're going to send some young guys over, and they're going to compete. I mean, maybe we need to be developing our younger talent a little bit better the way we are with other Olympic sports. And again, we don't necessarily put that much funding and resources as a country into amateur athletics the way that some nations do. Now, as a nation, we're blessed with a lot of gifted and talented and dedicated young men and women who will give up sections of their life to compete. And that's a great dream. And you go out and you represent the United States and win, lose, or draw, depending on what the sport is. You go out there and you give your best. I mean, you're a hero to us. But, hey, here's an opportunity for you to go out, represent the United States of America, go out, spread the game of basketball, make some fans in different countries, opportunity to market yourself, sell more stuff. I mean, come on. How many people have Italian basketball jerseys? Well, a lot now here next few weeks. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of Jon Elmore basketball jerseys floating around. That's going to do it for this edition of The Drive here at ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. David Kahn, thanks to him for joining us from the West Virginia Power. Jon Elmore, we appreciate him. For our producers, our tag team champions of the world, Gabriel Sellers and Jansen Williams, I'm Paul Swann. This has been The Drive on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. Good night, everyone.
WRVC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, your flagship home of the Marshall Thundering Herd and The Drive with Paul Swann, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.